Good evening, everyone. Ads here from Unity Trading Group. Welcome to the Wednesday night update. Of course, before we begin this evening, hit that like button, tap the subscribe button if you can, and of course, tick the bell to stay updated on all of our content. Coming up soon, of course, we've brought you an update every single night this week, and tonight is no different. Before I begin the market scan, I want to bring your attention towards Gravy Train, so that's unitytradinggroup.com/gravytrain. You can find out how Gravy Train works and the general rundown of the indicator. And then if you hit get access to Gravy Train now, it should take you immediately to the store when it loads up. There we are. And then you can hit let's do this. And then I will walk you through a 30% discount. So to do this, view cart, we go into the cart and then we apply the coupon Gravy Baby, press apply, and you'll see that discount to $22.38. So we're giving everyone a 30% discount on their first month of Gravy Train. It gives you an opportunity to really learn its worth, learn how to use it and see if it's for you. No obligations, of course. If it doesn't suit you, that's more than fine, but we've had some fantastic reviews and we've had some fantastic results with Gravy Train. So hit that up. The link is down below in the description if you'd like to start using it. But BTC, where are we at? Where have we been? Where are we going? Of course, we've seen a little bit of a pullback now. And let me get rid of Gravy Train for the minute. And we'll see where we're at. So first and foremost, let's get rid of this line, leave our fibs up for the minute. Actually, we'll nip it up a little bit and see where we're at. So we're at the 50 currently in terms of a pullback. But if we're drawing in the most relevant level of demand there, it lines up very nicely with the 50. And of course, we are getting rejected on our inverted head and shoulders. So this is the formation that we were really looking at the other night. So an inverse head and shoulders at the bottom of this 4-hour downtrend. The neckline seemingly would have been around, and I'll draw it in a box to give us a better view of it, something around here in the way of our neckline. We did poke our head BTC did poke its head just above it before getting rejected and falling below the neckline in this instance. So it does unfortunately invalidate this pattern. But in any case, if we are drawing our Fibonacci from left to right or from bottom to top, in this instance, we are getting a pullback very nicely here to the 50, which lines up with our most relevant very low quality level of demand there. So we are trending above the 38 now, but unfortunately we are trending below the 50 RSI in the red zone. And good to know our free RSI indicator that we did update to give you divergence as well. So you can see divergence on the chart. We had a higher high. And of course, that didn't occur on the RSI, giving us that clear divergence signal there. And of course, that did fall back down underneath the 50 RSI there. So it works well if you want to use the free indicator that we've got in the way of this RSI, UTG/RSI. It'll come up here and it is completely free to use. So make sure you utilize that if you'd like. But in the way of BTC, what it really needs to do over the next probably 24 hours, I would think it would need to stay above this 50 and of course above this level of demand. If we do break down below this level, creating a lower low in the way of our market structure, it would invalidate this movement on the 4-hour. And of course, we would be expecting a further movement down, maybe towards the 78.6, and that would coincide very nicely with the liquidity that we've got down below there. So it could mean a continuation to the downside and a continuation of the overall market cycle in the way of this area here, but that remains to be seen. A little bit too early to tell and a little bit too early to call in this instance for BTC. But that's what my play is currently. So, I'm really calling it shot by shot, play by play. We did fall short of our level of supply up there, and in all honesty, we did need a bit of a pullback. We did have our divergence on the 4-hour time, on the 4-hour RSI. That was a clear movement towards the downside, or clear indication that a move to the downside was an imminent one. So following that, we did push down to the 50, drawing our most relevant Fibonacci level in. So it's a critical time for BTC. It really needs to get above the 23.6 and then start to retest the 60K mark. I think that's going to be the most important level that needs to be on the cards for BTC. Alternative to that, if we do fall below the 50 and the 61, and more notably this structure here, if we start to make lower lows, then of course we would be expecting the lower extremities of the fibs, which is the 78.6. And like I said, it does line up very nicely with this market structure. And of course you can see to the left hand side, as I've drawn in that 78 fibs to extend it to the left, we've got multiple levels of support resistance flips that happen around that sort of area of liquidity, should you call it that, in terms of BTC to the downside. So in short, we're waiting to see what happens now. We need to stay above the 38.2 over the course of this evening. Obviously, speaking from Melbourne, it's 8:23 p.m. on my clock tonight. And of course, speaking as of today, this evening needs to be held above the 38.2. And of course, we will get our answer hopefully by morning tomorrow, of course. Moving on, Ethereum USD faring a little bit better, but not in the direction that we really wanted to. Not in any direction, should I say. We haven't moved to the upside, we haven't moved to the downside. We are really making some ground just on a smaller time frame, but we are just sitting in a range. That range is really falling in between, that 3,500-ish level and around this 32, 31 area down the bottom here. So retesting that previous top, and of course we haven't made a higher high since the 4th of May, which was yesterday around midday. So that really comes down to it's going to be a coin flip in this instance. We haven't made a higher high, we haven't made a lower low, so we are getting squeezed into a corner. It's going to be a bit difficult to even draw something like that. You could say that's valid. We do have a little bit of outliers in the way of our fake out up the top here, but this could break in either direction in my opinion. There's no clear direction in terms of upside. You could say this is a flag. We are forming this sort of formation to the upside. That is a more, I take that back. It's a more likely scenario, should I say, because we do have this sort of pattern, this formation forming here on our chart. However, this can, and I have seen it break down very easily, and that we could be testing the 3100 top again for Ethereum, and you can see we have failed to break above this very short-term trend line that I've drawn in now on the chart. So look, I'm going to say refer to more information on this one, but if we're to follow the TA and we are to follow any sort of formations occurring on the chart, it would occur to me that a break to the upside is more likely, but not guaranteed, of course. We need to see if we do break and close above this structure to really confirm our upwards trajectory at around 35.50. And that would be another higher high if we do get there, and a continuation of trend for Ethereum. If we are to put on our levels in terms of gravy train and seeing what that really tells us on a high time frame, it's saying stop long. And look, it really is in the same boat that I am in terms of TA, where it says we are in a moment or an area of indecision, and that's really highlighted by the gray areas filled in by gravy train. So you've had long signals all the way up, and that's been very consistent, since around 2,500 to up to around 3,500, so $1,000 swing there in the way of gravy train. But in the way of our market structure at the moment, it is on the fence, as am I. We are at a moment of reversal or indecision in this market, so we need to wait for a little bit further, a little bit more information. Are we going to break above the cloud and continue our uptrend towards $4,000 for Ethereum, or are we going to break down, create a downtrend cloud, and of course, are we going to test 3K? Like I said, it remains to be seen. But if we're looking at the formation, usually they break to the upside, but don't take that as financial advice. Continuing tonight, we'll have a quick look at the dominance chart. It has been getting absolutely smashed. But in saying that, predictable in any case, because, and I will explain myself, Predictable because on a daily time frame we did break below our most recent level of demand, and if you follow the rules of supply and demand, usually if we do break below, make a lower low, we do continue to the next level below it. And of course I had that pre-drawn in, and we are at that level now at 46.13. I'll show you where I did get that from. Turn gravy train off. So we did have a small market pivot point on a daily time frame, and that was occurred by this pullback. Very, very small, very slight, but in the right area and creating the right size for a level of demand. And of course it's come to light now that it is in the perfect spot. It won't surprise me at all if we get a semi bounce from here to really retest possibly this zone at the top, this one here. This makes me very happy because we do have a green candle in the middle of a downtrend that is of absolute perfect size to give us a level of supply. So I have no doubt in my mind at 49.3 or 49.28 we will have a retest of this zone eventually. Not saying it's going to happen overnight, not saying it's even going to happen anytime soon, but more than likely we will get a retest of this level at some point in the future. Whether or not we get a bounce here, retest this zone, continue towards the downside, that is one scenario, absolutely, but I'm not putting that in stone just yet, and we'll see how we go. All I can tell you right now, in my opinion, it is going to have a bit of a hold up here at 46.12. It is a more relevant level than most, so we will see how we go, and I wouldn't rule out in the immediate term, even on a smaller time frame, a recovery, and that could be defined by our Fibonacci retracement drawing from left to right. Of course, we could even just retest the 38.2 and then have our continuation. So that is another key element to look forward to, or even to have on your chart. Make sure you have these levels of supply and demand if you're well versed in drawing them. You can find the links in our YouTube channel, and of course in the Discord. You can follow the link below to join that, to follow or to find the literature about supply and demand, or www.unitytradinggroup.com/supply and demand, all one word, and you'll find the literature based on that. Last one for this evening is the DXY. Of course, this is a regulated market, not financial advice at all, just ideas and opinions of us here at UTG. Very similar formation as BTC. It's a little bit skewed because we've got two areas here, so I'm not putting too much weight on this, to be honest. But it does seem like we are moving in the trajectory of our level of supply, and I will nip that up, to be honest. It's not in the spot that I'm totally happy with. Let's draw it properly. I will take into account that zone to make it of perfect size. We did have our indicator highlight a divergence there, which did occur in the way of here to here-ish, in that sort of region there, to give us a divergence. It's a very small one, very slight one, but in any case, we are trending above the 50 RSI. So I do think, well, in my opinion, 91.6, that level of supply is probably the most likely scenario over the course of this evening at least, and we'll revisit this tomorrow night to really give us an idea of if that comes to light tonight. But I'm Ads from UTG. Thank you all for joining me. Don't forget to check out Gravy Train if you haven't already. unitytradinggroup.com/gravytrain is what you need to follow to get there. Give it a go. That's all we ask. Give it a go. Give us some feedback if you'd like. And of course, it's always good to get feedback. Your feedback makes these products better. So keep providing that in the Discord. If you haven't joined the Discord, links are down below in the description. Again, I'm Ads from UTG. See you tomorrow. Bye.